Hey everyone, this is Antonio the 13th here with another small portfolio update. And thankfully, this update's looking a lot better than the last one. So, yeah, let's take a look at what I did the past week. So, in terms of realized losses, I am down $111 this week. At least that's what I'm shown on the Robinhood realized profit and loss tool on the mobile version. In terms of the unrealized gains, I am up 2 grand, 18%. So yeah, looking pretty good. Almost made back everything that I lost. So in terms of what I did for the week, so here's a spreadsheet that I use to track my trades. And you can see some of these trades that I've talked about already because I do this on a quarterly basis. So the ones that we haven't talked about yet are the ones starting from here. So I had expressed some skepticism about selling some covered calls in the last video unless um, unless the share prices reached a certain threshold that I wanted to see them at, closer towards the middle line in the Bollinger Band on each one of these stocks, AMD and NVDA. And we weren't really getting there, but we did have one day where we did go up a bit, and um, I believe that was Wednesday when President Trump announced that he was suspending all the tariffs or capping them to 10% temporarily until, or except for China. And so, um, yeah, so the market popped on that day, and I sold some covered calls. And let me make sure that that's my timeline's checking out there. The 8th was Tuesday. So that would have been a little earlier. There must have been a little bit of a pop up before that, and that I sold some covered calls on and then just took, you know, most of the winnings off the table once I got there. And then also, but later on, I did sell some covered calls on the pop up that I just talked about after President Trump announced the news. More on that in a second. But these were basically the two big wins for the week when I cashed in on the covered calls that I sold earlier in the week. And then I got an alert during the middle of the week that Kraft Heinz, ticker KHC, as you can see here, um, it dipped below a level that I had set up an alert for. I think it was $28. And so I got, admittedly, I got a little FOMO and bought a leap and then sold the covered call off on it, as you can see here. Um, I decided probably the day after that I bought this that, that was a spontaneous decision. I shouldn't have done that. It wasn't calculated. It's just putting on even more margin than I'm already taking on, which is probably not a good idea in this market environment. So I decided to, since my covered call was profiting at this point, anyways, that I had sold off the leaps, I cashed in on that covered call profit and then sold my leaps for the difference and basically ended up even on that trade. And so then the end of the week, uh, on Wednesday, I sold an NVDA covered call. And yeah, sorry, just trying to recall here. On Wednesday and Thursday, yeah, Wednesday and Thursday, I sold some covered calls, one on NVIDIA and then one on AMD. The NVIDIA one, I didn't wait long enough. I sold it too close to end the money. This particular covered call, I know it doesn't specify here, but it was at the 107 strike. And as you probably know, we rose very aggressively on NVDA. Um, and so that call was in the money, and there was only like 1 day left till expiration. And I thought the rally was going to continue very aggressively, so I just wanted to roll out. So I did. And I rolled out a couple weeks. Let's just take a look here for the April 25th expiration. And I was able to roll up to the $111 call strike here for a credit. A small one, but a credit nonetheless. I think it was about $50. And so, but obviously I had a huge debit to pay up front in order to be able to roll that, to buy that call back um, that was in the money. So, yeah, that's why I have this large $420 debit here. So, with this loss and the Under Armour loss, from earlier when I was selling during the beginning of this downturn. I'm now down $733.12 for this quarter, or at least as of that transaction. I then was able to take about 50% profit off of my AMD covered call that I sold on, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. And I collected 50% off of that. So yeah, those were the trades that I did for this week. Um, so obviously I won't be doing anything with NVIDIA this coming week. I fully anticipate that this is probably going to be in the money. It's almost there right now. And that I'm just going to have to play the long game with this, continue rolling this to um, further further you know further expirations as this one gets closer. I probably won't roll this one out until Wednesday of the week of expiration. I'll let this get a little bit closer and risk early assignment. Even if I do get early assigned, this is above my cost basis, so I wouldn't be like it wouldn't be devastating, but I would like to hold this a bit longer and obviously ride this up, assuming NVIDIA continues to go back to like the 120, 130-ish range. So, and hopefully even higher in the long term. But yeah, I would like to hold on to these shares, so I'm going to continue rolling this as I can, but that roll won't occur next week. Right now, I'm not doing anything with my AMD shares. There's nothing currently, like there's no covered call on them. I have a pending order here to open a covered call at the 103 strike, but I want to collect at least $1 on this, which means AMD will probably have to rise up quite a bit more in order for this to get filled. And I'm not going to compromise on this. I'm already kind of in a pickle with the NVIDIA share, with my NVIDIA call being in the money. I don't want to really run into that same situation with AMD. So I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive and stubborn about, which strike I want. And worst case scenario, if this, if I get filled on this and then AMD spikes and this gets to be in the money, then at least this also is above my cost basis. But if that were to happen, I would probably be doing the same thing with NVIDIA, continuing to roll and holding on for some good capital gains on the actual shares themselves. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, or what I have done, and what I am planning to do for the upcoming week. NVIDIA not doing anything. AMD, I'll sell a call at the 103 strike or better if I can. Otherwise, I haven't added anything to these positions. I did get my federal refund, so I deposited that money into the account, and now my margin's down to 7 grand here, thankfully. So starting to chip away at that with the premiums that I'm collecting as well as the money that I'm contributing from my savings. So yeah, hope you're doing well in the stock market as well, or better at least than you were. And I'll see you in the next update. Thank you for watching.